Я на месте. Тогда можете переходить пешком, да, здесь места нет все равно.
Предположим, сцену прямо по центру, и вы работаете. Тут уже смотря от того, у вас камеры будут расположены.
Вы не против, если мы поснимаем чуть-чуть, это как документально будет?
Не только под барабаны, а сплошняком на всю сцену. Да.
Где можно будет со всех сторон снимать, а не просто там.
У этого рабочее название, ну, в данном случае,
Devil's
конечного фильма.
Devil's Dozen.
"2021 is a new step for Infected Rain's career for so many reasons, but mainly because it's been 13 years since our very first show in the summer of 2008.
There is so much information on the internet about the band, how we started, how we came to this point. I always wonder, how do you guys even know all this stuff? Where do you get this from? So I would like to tell you our story and my story.
To me personally, Infected Rain is entire life, because I saw this small baby in the very beginning, and I saw how it grows and grows and become bigger and stronger.
Можно на Мизоне это снять, там очень зарыжный.
As you know, we are from Chisinau, capital of Moldova. We started our band here, and our journey started in this city. It's a very small country we live in. It's a country between Romania and Ukraine.
So this is the center of the city, of the capital, Chisinau. I think this is the main street of Moldova. And I remember the story. Somewhere in Europe, one guy asked me, "Hey, what is Moldova? Where is it? Can you show me some pictures of your city?" And I showed him, and he was like, "Oh man, this looks so nice actually. I thought that people throwing the garbage out of the windows and the horses walking around, you know." But as you can see, this is not the way it is. Actually, I heard that Chisinau is one of the most green capitals in Europe. We have a lot of trees everywhere, and looks pretty nice.
Everybody of us has his own history in this city. Somebody grew up here, somebody moved here, like me and my brother, for example. But this city has a special place in our hearts. It's our hometown.
Me and my brother, Vova, the bass player, we were born in, actually I was born in Moldova, he was born in Russia. But we were raised in Russia. I came here when I was 13 years old.
Already being a kid, I decided that I'm gonna be a musician, and I really wanted to do music and be creative in many aspects of my life.
Я начал играть где-то с 98 года с братом. У нас создалась уже группа. Season the Moon это уже была в 98-м, по-моему. Но мы раньше начали, где-то года 4 как бы до. Мы начали вообще играть вместе же на гитарах. Мы даже выступали с ним в школе, там у него, в лицее, как бы, перед классом. То есть я на гитаре, он на гитаре, и мы поем вдвоем. Как бы. Я вот вспоминаю вообще, мне аж как-то страшно, думаю, что мы там пели вообще. Что я пел? Вот это вопрос. На английском пел, понимаете?
When I was 13, I took a few private lessons of guitar, and then I started collecting some money for my first guitar. It was a cheap guitar, but I still have it.
I started to play guitar when I was 11 years old because my parents actually and my brother, they gave me as a gift on my birthday guitar, acoustic guitar. Actually, my brother, he was the first who started to play, and I was, as a young brother, I went always his steps. You know, watching your older brother is always motivates you.
Был друг Драгош из лицея тоже. И они вдвоем на гитарах. Как бы понятно, что они хорошо играли. Там Драгош учился на классическую гитару, он играл там очень классно все вот эти вот классические произведения, там, я не знаю. И барабанщика нет. Давай, попробую, что нет.
When I was, I think, 15 years old, I got first electric guitar, and I really was into metal music back then. I just started to listen Metallica and very first bands like for me was Bullet for My Valentine, Killswitch Engage, I don't know, Avenged Sevenfold and stuff like that. So I just tried to play as much as I can.
I remember I had a first tape of Nirvana. It was the first rock band that I listened, and I fell in love with this band. And since then I decided that I want to connect my life with music.
Понятно, что инструментов вообще никаких не было. У нас была киностудия в доме нашем, и я помню, что в какой-то момент она закрылась. И чуваки, видимо, взяли все эти пленки и выкинули их. Я на мусорке нашел, короче, эти все, типа, кейсы, я не знаю, как от пленки, не круглые. И вырезал себе вот много тарелок таких, типа, и ставил там коробки и вся фигня. И вот мы так начали так играть в квартире у друга. Потом мы купили какие-то супер дешевые барабаны, которые, там, по-моему, только был малый хэт, тарелка одна, и бочки не было. И мы нашли коробку от посылки. И педаль зато была. И вот играли так. Кстати, посылка неплохо звучит с бочки.
Because Vova actually started to play in different bands. He had a couple before Infected Rain. Of course, I attended all of their shows and actually any show that had place in Moldova, and especially in Chisinau, of course. That's how I started to meet people who was into metal music in Moldova, and I even went to some of our Moldovan guitar players to study a little bit. I went for a couple of months, maybe 5-6 months. These gave me some kind of push. So from that on, I knew what exactly to do with the electric guitar.
When I was 16, I played the first show in front of people, and it was a big show actually. It was a show dedicated to Metallica, and me and my band, first one, Black Sabbath, we played 2 songs, and I was the happiest person on earth because my dream came true. We started our band in 2007, and the first show was in 2008.
Ну что ж, представьтесь еще раз. Infected Rain, да?
Infected Rain.
Infected Rain, заебись. Vidic, скажи пару слов.
Vidic spent almost 2 years in Italy, and when he came back to Moldova, he just kind of lost this connection with metal community in Moldova. He didn't know musicians, new bands, so he just started visiting gigs. He was trying just to find musicians for his new project. And somehow, accidentally, I think, he visited our gig with my previous band. And he just marked a drummer, Vadim, the first drummer for Infected Rain, and me.
In 2008, me and my brother, first time we decided to go to United States using this exchange students program. You know, when you go for the summertime to United States, you work and travel. It's actually work and travel program. And we decided, why not? Why don't we go for a couple of months, see the world, United States, work a little, make some money. Of course, we didn't make much money. We basically was traveling. I bought my first good guitar back then in San Francisco during the trip. Gibson Les Paul Studio, which costed me $1,300, and this was extremely huge amount of money for me back then. I actually spent all of my money on this guitar, and I came with zero home.
Я надеюсь, что вот эту вещь мне разрешат взять с собой, ручную кладь, и никакой ублюдок не посмеет кидать золотую гитару.
When I came back from United States in Moldova, Vidic called me exactly next day, I think, and I didn't realize that it's him. I thought that it was a totally different person. And he called me once, and I said, no, I just came back to Moldova, I need rest. I cannot come to rehearsal next day. And then he called me next day, and then one more time, and I was just shocked. Who the fuck are you? Why are you calling me and calling me and calling me? I was about to refuse it without to come to rehearsal.
When we just started with the band, we had a few rehearsal places where we just rented some rooms, but it was for one or few days. But this place in this building behind of us is kind of special because we rehearsed here quite a lot.
One of my friends, he came to first rehearsal when I met Vidic, and he told me, okay, so we go, you try to play, and then you say, okay, thank you, guys. I was happy to meet you, and just leave the rehearsal and we go to drink. After we played with Vidic, first song, I remember it was Judgmental Trap. I liked the song, and I decided that to drink beer with my friend, it's not the best idea.
At that time we had DJ in our band, and it was actually a very important part of our life as well, because there was 6 members in the band that worked on samples and electronic part of the band.
Видели, как я прыгнул случайно ногами вперед? Я прыгаю, короче, я хотел как-то перевернуться спиной, чтобы словили, а я прыгаю, и ноги впереди, я такой, ребят, затоптал этого быка.
His idea was actually to film a video. We wanted to make a music video, but in the end it was just a demo video for a demo song, no idols. And yeah, it was a very nice experience. It was our first filmings ever. And we filmed in this rehearsal studio. We asked people to come, our friends, and it was a huge party.
People who came to film this video got drunk, and they even broke the window.
After Vova got in the band in 2008, right after the band started, I was always thinking, man, I want to be in a band as well. Not in Infected Rain, I just wanted any band to play, just to have shows. This became actually the dream. I had one small band before Infected Rain, but we never had even one show. We were practicing and practicing. I was going to rehearsals for like a year maybe. One day, the previous guitar player left the band, and they started to search for the new one.
А что ты в стороне стоишь? Ты не считаешь себя членом группы? Разве, а?
Да, он член группы. So Andrei Medny, first guitar player, was a nice guy, but the funny story that we played together almost 2 years, and he couldn't play one song, which was Escape. I don't know, for some reasons, maybe he didn't have enough time to practice at home. I don't know why. So, and he was skipping this song every time at the shows.
выбор в пользу личной жизни и променяли музыку, искусство на какую-то девушку? Никогда.
I don't remember exactly, but he just stopped visiting rehearsals in one moment. And we didn't call him back. So that was the reason why we started searching for new guitar player.
Vova never actually invited me in the band. He was like, I don't want to, these things like, I will invite my brother because I want my brother in the band.
I always wanted to play with him in one band, but I wanted him to prove his skills, his abilities to play guitar, that he deserves this.
The band was looking for the guitar player and they actually had few on their mind.
When Vidik told me that he found another guitar player and he wants to try him, I said no, first we have to try my brother. If he's not good enough, we will try another.
And I came to rehearsal, I learned a couple of songs. It was 2010, I remember autumn, and I did well, I think. Since then, we going together.
Sergei came to the first rehearsal and played this song Escape, which Medny couldn't learn for 2 years. After rehearsal, Vidik told me, "Are you fucking crazy? You've got such a talented brother," and he could fit the band perfectly. So I didn't help him. I just pushed maybe a little bit him.
I remember first show I played with Infected Rain was here in Moldova, in Chisinau, of course, and it was a kind of small festival. I remember these feelings. It was super exciting. At that moment I thought this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Even now, I still, every show, every concert, it doesn't matter huge or small, I feel the same feelings. I get stressed a little bit, I get excited. I hope it will never end.
Oh. All right. Whew. Are you nervous? Are you ready? Yes.
It's rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, baby.
Шею размяли все? Два года не колбасили.
Очень не размяли. Послезавтра будет очень болеть по-любому. Да.
Ой, уже сегодня будет болеть.
Утром. Так может мы перед выходом чуть-чуть, да? Я выпускаю, давайте.
So, do you like the stage?
I do. We had to wait for 13 years to have proper stage. What the hell?
Yeah.
13 years.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be
So
fucking
we decided
amazing.
to do this show for all the people around the world that didn't have a chance yet to see our show. So we decided to make it properly and with a very good production sound and visuals and everything.
It seems so long ago, but at the same time, it's like it was yesterday.
Before recording our first album, Asylum, we had this EP with 6 songs, and we invested quite a lot in this EP, and we even produced it on the CDs, but then we just gave it away on the shows.
Just to promote ourselves in a way. Before we really started to record it, we were looking for a place to record it, because this city is not very big and the opportunities here are also not very big. Everybody knows each other, and we were asking around other musicians that are maybe, you know, more experienced, and we were trying to find a place where we could have quality sound. producer, somebody that can guide us, somebody that can a little bit keep us on the right track, I guess, because we were, babies in this industry.
На наушники можно было бы дать мир.
Поснимай вот это. Самое первое название группы должно было быть. Потом мы оставили.
We decided that we have to go bigger and finally record our first album. And we found the studio that already recorded a few albums of different bands, also metal, and we wanted to have the same quality.
Volutsha Valentin was the guy that we heard so much about. He was kind of a friend of a friend. Musicians knew him, and he was working in this recording studio here in Chisinau. So Valentin, he asked us to play the whole album all together in his studio, just so he can have an idea and a reference, like some sort of guideline for the album. And we were so young and not really all that prepared to do something so serious. So yeah, we were very nervous. It was our very first time and we didn't do a good job at all.
Может тебя дергать во время этого?
Нельзя. Все, нельзя.
А мы тебя
Valentin, he is the brother of Eugene. He recorded Asylum with us even before Eugene came to the band.
Валентин, наш этот, наш главный. Это у нас главный. Кто-то же должен быть главным. Вот это главный.
Actually, Asylum and Embrace Eternity were the only two albums where we recorded guitars actually in the studio. We had to pay for this studio, a lot of money actually. And you feel really stressful when you have really limited amount of time and you have to record everything as fast as possible and you can't relax. You need to do it on your maximum abilities. Sometimes you need 100 tries to record a specific part of the song. And it takes time.
It was the first album in my life. Even if I played before in different bands, it wasn't possible to go to studio to record an album. It's too expensive.
Recording an album is very expensive everywhere in the world. And we worked really hard on our jobs to get enough money to make it happen and invest in the first album.
The time when we decided to record the first album of the band was, I guess, the most difficult. At the time, the band was only playing local shows in the countries around Moldova, just our neighbors. Not many shows, not much touring, not much to generate from in order to invest in such a big project like a whole album. Yeah, it was challenging. We all had to really roll our sleeves, work very hard. I remember taking some jobs as well to have extra money to invest in recording of Asylum. So at the time I used to work as a hair and makeup artist. And yeah, I just started working in nightclubs in the night, and in the day still work as a hair and makeup artist. When my shift was over in the night as a bartender, I would seriously just go have breakfast somewhere, not even go home, and run to the beauty studio where I used to work.
It was difficult for everybody of us, and everybody of us has a special story connected to this. I worked as a bartender for 9 years. In fact, I lost my job. When I came back from the first tour, they said that they don't need me anymore, and it was a very tricky situation for me, because when you go on tour, you have fans there, you see people that support you, and then you come back home and you don't have anything there. You don't have money for even basic stuff, for food, you know.
Actually, I ended up coming to United States many more times, like six more times. I was working, making money, buying gear, and coming back home to invest in the band as much as I can. I came home with not so much money, but I think I had about $5,000, and I borrowed the rest. Our mom gave small part. That's how we bought our first traveling van.
Чуть-чуть поднимаю педаль на пайке, и получается, она чуть выше.
Понятно.
Может, ее, наверное, придется отдельно писать, да?
Вот это было нормально.
I didn't have enough experience to work in studio, and Valentin was pushing me all the time, like play harder, play harder, play harder. And I didn't understand, what do you mean play harder? I don't know where he got it from. He just opened a session with the Slipknot and showed me this waveform for bass player. You see, I need this kind of signal. You have to play like that. And I said, what? You want me to play that hard? And I just started to play other way.
Так я тебя жду.
А я тебя.
Ты говори, когда готов.
Я заходил к брату как-то на студию, он как раз делал микс альбома, и я зашел случайно к нему, что-то мы хотели там обсудить, и как бы он сказал, вот я делаю барабаны, давай типа посмотрим, что как. На Dead Mannequin мы сделали малый, ковыряли, и как бы вроде бы сделали получше. Я, может быть, что-то посоветовал, может быть, наоборот, помешал, я не знаю. Суть в том, что мы, да, что-то вместе вот тогда сделали.
For me as a vocalist was a little bit challenging because I was very sensitive towards every type of comment, every type of feedback from other musicians or from friends and family, and of course from fans that were seeing anything online. I was so sensitive towards all those comments. I was taking it so personal. And in a way, maybe it's good that I did. I had to go through that to understand that there are so many people and everybody has their own opinion. And you just have to switch that off in order to be yourself. So I had to have this period in my career in order to understand that there's no way I can please everybody. There's no way we can please everybody as a band. But because I never sang in a different project before Infected Rain, I never was on the stage before Infected Rain, for me it was like extremely sensitive topic.
Накричи на меня.
Сейчас. За шнурки поглажу.
This pain is too loud.
When friends were saying, you know, or family were saying that, are you sure you want to change your career? Are you sure you're taking it like so serious right now? Like you are already an established hair and makeup artist. You're doing so great. Like, why would you want to start something from scratch? I gotta say, I have a very supportive family. When they understood how important the band is for me and how happy it makes me, all those discussions and doubts were stopped.
After we finished, after it was done and we released the album, I was holding it and thinking, here it is. This is like so much work was done to make to this point. Not only recording process, but the whole thing we were doing before. Playing shows, writing, I don't know. I thought now we will become the huge superstars because this is something really super cool. And yeah, actually I thought of myself much bigger rock star than now back then.
I'm very proud of us actually rolling our sleeves and doing this huge step in Infected Rain career, because after the first album things started making more sense. Concerts, merchandise, content, everything. So yeah, that time was really fun.
В данный момент идет прослушивание Владимиром нашей первой записанной композиции.
When you record your music, you always have expectation that some songs can be more catchy or interesting than others, but after recording you can change your opinion. For example, we were thinking that The Live Game will be our single, but after we recorded album, we decided that Me Against You will be good for our music video and single.
After filming At the Bottom of the Bottle, we decided to film a second music video, and we chose Me Against You as a single. And our previous drummer, Vadim, he said that he was gonna leave the band, and we had to decide if he will be in this music video, but he will leave anyway after this project, or Zhenya will be in this music video. But at the time we weren't sure if he's gonna stay in the band, because everything was super uncertain at that time.
Before Eugene, we had the previous drummer, Vadim Prochenko, who was in the band with Vova before Infected Rain, and he was my group mate. Vadim was a very cool guy, actually. He was very smart. I think he was one of the best guys in our group, in the faculty, in the university.
Это Вадим, барабанщик. Это Вадим, не барабанщик.
I remember he was always challenging himself when we did rehearsals. He was always trying to play exactly as it was supposed to be in the song, and since many of those songs wrote Vadim, the guitar player, he was trying to copy every hit and to make it sound as complicated as possible, which not always was groovy enough, and you couldn't maybe hear every hit because he was like playing like insane.
Ну, я послушал, как бы понятно, что я постарался как бы особо не менять, но как бы, может быть, для меня было что-то неиграбельно тогда просто. Ну, постарался оставить плюс-минус, как оно есть. Ну, что-то, естественно, поменял. Может быть, где-то лучше, я не знаю. Может хуже.
One of the last shows we played together, we were on tour, few shows in Romania. I remember Vadim was complaining about our shitty instruments, shitty drums, shitty equipment. Of course, we didn't have some good gear in the beginning, and he was telling me that every time I play during the show, I think about anything but the actual playing drums, because the head is shaking, the stand is moving, the mic is not on the proper position. I have only a few pair of sticks left. What if I break one? I have only one left, and all this crap, you know.
Вадим, ты католик?
Да? Вадим, ты что, католик? Ты католик?
Ты католик?
Скажи, пожалуйста, ты католик?
Вадим, ты не католик?
Случайно.
А ты католик?
Вот, чисто кролик. Давно хотел тебя спросить.
Ты не католик?
I think in the end he just lost interest in drums. I think he left not only because he wanted to move to another country, but also he didn't really believe in a huge future of the band, and he thought maybe I need to do something else because maybe I'm losing time. I don't know.
We decided that, yeah, anyway Vadim will leave, but maybe Zhenya will decide to stay in the band, and I think we did a great choice that he is in the music video.
Мы были знакомы все вместе между собой. И как бы общались нет-нет иногда. И в какой-то момент, я помню, Шалена мне позвонила и типа: Женя, вот нам нужен барабанщик, ты не хочешь? И я как-то подумал, ну, можно, как бы я сказал, скинь, пожалуйста, альбом. Ну, если честно, я послушал. Блин, интересно, но как-то странно. Как будто бы не моя музыка была тогда. Все создавали какие-то кавер-бенды свои, там, не знаю что. И тоже там, давай играть какие-то кавера, там, классно, это модно, типа, и там можно бабла заработать. И как бы я так послушал, и окей, хорошо, типа, посмотрим. Прошло время, и как-то мы не общались на эту тему. И потом еще раз я помню, что, по-моему, Лена позвонила и типа, давай все-таки сыграем вместе, давай попробуем что-то. Я помню, что я пришел на первую репетицию, и мы начали играть. По-моему, вдвоем с Сережей. В принципе, мне понравилось, очень даже было интересно.
I don't want to say that Vadim was not a good drummer, but when Eugen joined the band, from the first rehearsal, I felt difference. He's more groovy, straight, and to play with him easier, to be honest.
Потом мы, по-моему, через, я не помню, сколько, неделю или сколько, мы сняли видеоклип вместе, в агентстве, как бы, с мотоциклами. То есть это был такой, для меня вообще первый опыт с клипами вообще, сняться в таком еще масштабном клипе, и, как бы, я так, было прикольно на самом деле. Да и весело вообще.
Who's this?
So this is the place where we filmed Me Against You music video, and it's the first time I came back here since we filmed it.
When we decided to film a music video for Me Against You, we wanted to make something really big. Apparently we found friends who was into all this motocross community, and they helped us a lot. They found the bikers, bikes and everything. So the whole motocross community from Moldova was here that day. And we actually had very good party after that, right here.
Ой, как много велосипедистов.
This track is considered as one of the most complicated in Europe, and it is included in World Motocross Championship. Even now you can see guys who came here to practice.
Me Against You also was the video that became the biggest single on YouTube and the first video that hit 1 million of views on YouTube. So we are kind of proud about this video.
I think the main reason why Me Against You got so popular is because visually it looks really interesting and nice, and because it was first music video where we put as much effort as it was possible.
Tell me what you want to do. You want to burn me
with this album we went on tour in Romania, and we played a few shows in Ukraine as well. Before that we didn't go anywhere else with tours. It was just our neighbors, Romania and Ukraine. And only once we managed to go to Bulgaria.
Что у тебя на поке? Как хорошо на улице, веселило. Я сейчас это и хочу снять.
Одесса мама.
Одесса мать, потом Николаев поедем, потом в Днепропетровск.
Goodbye, Varna.
After that we had a few shows in Russia as well. It's a really long way to Moscow, and we played a few shows around as well, and it was very big and important step for us.
Moldova used to need visas even to go to the neighbor Romania and to go to European countries. It was very, very challenging to get that visa, to get approved, especially because we were an independent band, a small independent band at the time. One specific show is very important, and I would like to talk about it because it has a lot of events around it. And I'm talking about a show in Moscow that happened in February of 2014.
It was just one show booked in Russia, and we planned it for a long time, and something bad started happening in Ukraine. It was kind of revolution which transformed in a civil war.
In order to go to Russia, you have to drive through Ukraine, from Chisinau to Moscow, from the capital of Moldova to the capital of Russia.
Мы еще даже 20 километров от Кишинева не отъехали.
Еще осталось ехать 20 часов.
Сережа серьезный парнишка такой едет.
Парнишки рулят за рулем.
Разруливает.
Рулят. Должны быть серьезными, если мы все придурки.
Скоро заедем в Незалежно. Незалежна наша.
Border police asked us where did we go and are we crazy or what to go during this very difficult time through the whole Ukraine.
However, we decided not to decline this one specific show in Moscow, and we took the risk upon us.
So we knew that there are kind of block posts on the way with civil people with weapons, and they're stopping all the cars and checking what you're transporting and where you go and stuff like that.
A lot of people told us, hey, just don't ignore that. Stop the car, talk to them, you know, be compliant and show your car if needed, because if you just drive past it, they will think you're hiding something, and so it can cause dangerous situations.
Это было ночь уже, мы подъезжаем к таможне, и там какие-то баки горят, какая-то фигня творится, какие-то чуваки в масках с автоматами, с битами, не знаю с чем. То есть мы подъезжаем, и уже пульс такой.
I remember being in a car, having my legs were like numb from the fear. Technically, if something happens, there's nothing you can do about it because you're not in your own country. There's no one around. You can't even like ask for help or anything.
Мы подъезжаем, и нам чуваки какие-то говорят, тормозите. Показывают, как бы, и мы так тормозим. Чувак в маске был, как бы постучал в окно и такой очень хорошо обратился. Типа, ребята, извините, вот в связи с такой ситуацией у нас в стране, как бы мы вот вынуждены проверять все машины, поэтому извините, но мы должны проверить вас.
We said that we are just a band and we have a show in Moscow, so we don't transport anything illegal, bad or stuff like that. We're just musicians. And they asked which band we are playing in.
Infected Rain, в смысле? Как? Нет, не может быть. Это вы едете. Серьезно, это вы, Лена?
One of these guys was our fan, and he was like, oh my god, this is so crazy, I'm a huge fan of yours. And we opened the door and we were talking a little bit, and he was like to all his friends like, yeah, let them go, it's like they're super cool.
The boys told me about all this later. I didn't know what they were talking about. This guy in a mask, he opens my door And he was super nice. He was apologizing for the situation in their country. He was apologizing for the situation that was happening at the moment and explaining why. That was like so much needed to just get out of that atmosphere of like that intense, scary atmosphere.
И прямо так, аж прямо так отняло вообще просто. И думаю, да не может быть прям. Прям узнали. То есть как-то так сразу легче стало.
It was a very nice coincidence, and we were so lucky that situation went in that very positive way.
I don't know if things would have been different if he wasn't familiar with the band or not. Who knows?
Был, в принципе, я помню, что неплохой концерт в Москве.
Сия матч! Очень классный размах этих крыльев этой звезды. Смотрите, какая классная площадь. Как красная площадь? Это Кремль. Раньше в этих стенах была вся Москва.
Вам жарко? Все, будем потеть вместе.
Before I move on to tell you the second part of this story, I gotta tell you something else really important happened in my life that specific year. Next day after the show, I met up with my father, which I didn't see since I was 13. It was very emotional time for me. It was very important moment in my life actually because, you know, there were a lot of family issues and a lot of problems my parents had between them. So it was really interesting. I was happy in a way. And, you know, seeing him even for a couple of hours was, I guess, important in my life. Next day after the show, we started our journey back home from Moscow.
We had to choose the smaller roads because the bigger roads definitely would be controlled by these civil people that are checking everybody, stopping all the cars.
The roads in Eastern Europe, especially outside cities or outside the highway, are not the best. That's just saying it lightly.
На небесах.
А мы на небесах. Вова, ты не боишься в Silent Hill?
Не, опасаюсь.
Silent Hill.
Getting closer to the border with Moldova, about 70 kilometers, we had a very bad car accident.
I have to say that this car accident, which we had on February 25th, 2014, when we flipped, it was actually right after we bought the new touring van in 3 months. This was the most terrible thing which happened to me in my life.
To me personally, it's even more special day because I was a driver, and if something would happen, all responsibility would lay on me, and to live with this, it's really hard, I think. I even don't want to imagine how to live with this.
It wasn't anybody's fault. We just lost control of the car because it was February and it was after some night rains. The roads were iced, very slippery, and very, very damaged.
Vova was driving, and he's actually very accurate driver.
Вова! Водит нихуёво!
Давай, Вадим, подпевай.
Вова! Вова молодец!
Вот этот Вова, именно этот Вова.
And I remember I was always pushing him. Come on, why don't you go a little faster? It's all right, it's normal road, it's okay. But he was still very accurate, going maybe 40-50 kilometers per hour.
И как сейчас помню, мы едем, и спереди какой-то трактор, который разбрасывает песок. У него, видимо, песок закончился, и он как бы свернул, и как только песок закончился, мы едем, и просто начинает заносить. Я просто схватился за сиденье, только как бы успел, и жду, что сейчас вот ударимся просто. Потому что прямо было видно, что вот сейчас. И реально я не понял, как за секунду или за сколько я просто стою ногами на крыше просто.
Somehow we hit the side of the road. It was not really huge hit. It was a small hit, but in specific place where the car just flipped over.
I was sitting in front right next to Vova. The majority of the band was sleeping. I don't remember details about it, but the car stopped on the roof. And I ended up with the gear in the back of the car. Although I had my seatbelt on, but I was sitting funny. I was sitting a little bit like on the side because I was so tired of sitting in the same position. And I gotta tell you, those seats were not reclining seats. So we couldn't move the seats all these hours. So I was sitting a little bit around, like turned. That's why probably I slipped under my seatbelt.
We open our eyes in a few seconds. Everybody's shocked, completely shocked, because it's happened in just few seconds, maybe 5 seconds. And you can't understand what happened.
Так смотрю, и что происходит вообще, что за херня. И там кто-то кричит, все живы, все нормально, там, не знаю. Как-то реально было очень страшно.
I remember I was sleeping in the back seats and I woke up because the whole car was spinning and all the objects just were falling down and around. And then I was standing on the ceiling and I remembered how the snow and dirt just came through the windows in the car. Half of the band were already outside and trying everybody else to get out of the car. And yeah, I tried to figure out where are my shoes and stuff like that. And yeah, it was super scary.
The road was really slippery. You even cannot imagine how slippery was it, because right after accident I went out from the car and I couldn't stay on this road. I was slipping down the road like few meters. I couldn't stop. And the interesting moment is that right after accident, in 15 minutes, the sun rised and all this ice melted.
We got out of the car as fast as we could because we didn't know the damage that was done. And it was so cold outside. It was early in the morning, in February again. And we were in the middle of nowhere, somewhere. No houses.
No, this is not real. We can just flip the car back and everything will be all right. And I started to push in the car, trying to flip it over again, back to the wheels. Of course it's impossible, but I didn't understand that.
Everybody was okay. Lena had some problems.
I had 2 cracked ribs. My spine moved to the right and I had a concussion. So I had to take some time off from work a little bit to fix it. I was seeing a chiropractor, but everybody else just had a couple of bruises, thanks God.
Исходя из того, что у нас был полный багажник всяких инструментов, всяких стоек острых, я не знаю, чего-то, и все могло бы быть намного хуже. Но повезло, что, в принципе, вот так получилось.
When I remember this moment, every time I thank God that nobody got seriously injured.
We didn't know what to do and we just needed to put the car back to its wheels and see if we can go. But as you know, the situation in Ukraine was so difficult, so it was even hard to find the help.
The cars that were very rarely passing by were stopping to ask if we need some help. And I think we got some help to finally put our car on wheels and to see if we can actually arrive to the border by ourselves.
We tried to start the engine, but it didn't work, so we couldn't go like this.
We didn't think about our gear, our equipment. which was in the back. So when we flipped this car, all the equipment from the roof fell one more time down. I don't know how it's possible, but nothing was broken.
When we started to call evacuation cars, nobody from Ukraine wanted to deliver the car to Moldova, and nobody from Moldova wanted to come to pick up the car from Ukraine, because this is really complicated to bring the wrecked car through the customs, through the border.
If you arrive to the border of a country with a broken car like this, they might think you got away from an accident. You have to have paper from the police.
Somehow, finally, we found a guy who agreed to come, but he said it will take at least 5, 6, 7 hours to come there. So we had to wait.
Because it was closer to the Moldavian border, we had some of our friends coming to pick some of us to Chisinau. And Sergei and Vova stayed in the car waiting for bigger help to bring the car back to Moldova.
Уехал, если честно, с таким угрызением совести, потому что я помню, что Вова с Сережей остались в машине, потому что дожидались эвакуатора. Я помню, потом ребята рассказывали, что они вместе укутались в какие-то одеяла, во что-то и ждали тупо этот эвакуатор, и, конечно, это было прямо эпично.
We wanted to light the fire just to warm up, but it was almost impossible. The snow is everywhere, everything is wet, so we were just sitting so many hours. I think back then we remembered our entire lives together since we were little kids. I don't remember when was the last time we talked. We remembered so many things from our childhood and stuff. When the salvation came, it was, I think, about 10 p.m. But the accident happened in 9 o'clock in the morning. So we had to stay at least 13 hours in the cold, waiting for evacuation car. The most terrible day in my life.
We were very destroyed mentally, and we were about to record our second album, and all the money that we had collected, somehow we had to invest in the reparation of the van. But we decided just to stay strong and to do everything possible to move on, no matter what.
Our drums were already recorded for Embrace Eternity, and we had this show and we had to come back and record other musicians. And then this happened. We had also some upcoming shows, not far from this, some spring shows.
We fixed the car, and the summer 2014 we already played the first festival in Europe. It was in Czech Republic.
Мы едем в Чехию, пьем пиво до Чехии, чтобы выпить пиво там, потом тоже, чтобы было с чем сравнить.
Here is the building where we rehearse quite a lot. It was, I think, the second place where we used to rehearse, and yeah, it's a pretty iconic place. It's a very tall building, and it's a shoe factory. Our rehearsal studio was on the last floor near the roof. It looked like terrible, like abandoned Soviet building.
For me personally, this is the place where everything started, because my first rehearsal was here. When I joined the band, they've been rehearsing here for quite a lot of time, a couple of years, I think since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Вот это пласт на бочку, да? Вот в него играли до последнего. Он полностью отжил свое, вообще.
We were like 3 bands rehearsing in the same room, so the equipment was shared between the bands, but it was super shitty equipment, and yeah, but it was a lot of fun. In this rehearsal studio, we actually prepared our first album, Asylum. So yeah, we have quite a lot of memories connected to this location.
Ладно.
Блин, прикольно. А давайте будете на репе так играть, до конца репы.
Every time we had to go somewhere to the show, we had to bring everything downstairs from the 6th floor. And it was kind of pain in the ass.
To be fair, it was an elevator, but it couldn't go until the floor we need, so you had to go out, and there was a super steep stairs where like it was super difficult to bring equipment back and forth, so yeah, it was really pain in the ass.
Вот это долгие годы было нашим репетиционным помещением. Так сказать, лаборатория создания творчества Infected Rain. Очень долгое время мы дружно здесь все играли. Дело в том, что мы собираемся покинуть это помещение замечательное.
Back in the days, this location was kind of not under specific control of a company. It was not certain, and we had to find another place or stay there, but do a quite big reparation inside, so we could continue work there. But luckily, we didn't do it because this building probably was sold to a different company, and they would just get rid of us, and our reparation would just be for nothing.
Скажи два слова на прощание, Букеш. Сяд.
Пока.
Два слова я сказал. Тут вот только одно, еще одно.
Пока.
So we had to make a decision to invest in this rehearsal place or to move to Vidic's place.
Vadim decided that we can just take one room from his house and completely rebuild it and maybe start a new studio at his place, which was quite a good idea, I think.
Работай на работе.
Работа на работе.
Это будущая студия.
Какое-то знакомое чувство.
Вадимка, движение твое.
Я, между прочим, тут тоже работаю.
Между прочим, вот ты молодец. Ну, Вадим, как тебе? Вот, главные работники все собрались.
Охуенно, вот
Как
так
раз
вот.
как надо. Очкастая. 9 слоев это тебе не шутки.
Мышцы покажи.
Мышцы?
Да.
Вот такие, да?
Вот такие, вот такие. Я помогаю, видишь? Помогаю.
Не сбиваемся с ритмом. Слушаем музыку.
We just had a very intense first rehearsal all together. In how long? How long, Serozha?
18 months.
Holy fucking shit.
За приезд.
Thank you. He's very dreamy looking. Also, look at this handsome guy. Look at this handsome guy. Hey, look at this handsome guy. So dreamy. However, 2014 wasn't just a gloomy year for the band. It was actually a pretty cool year, a significant year for Infected Rain.
Because in this year, we could start traveling without visa in Europe. And doors were open for us.
It made everything so much easier.
We only all had to change our passports for biometrical passports, and that was it. We were good to go. No more visas, no more paperwork, no more headaches, no more explaining in the embassies why are you going to a different country,
we just jumped in the car and we went on this huge tour.
Это Будапешт.
Это Словения. Въезжаем в Австрию.
I am in Poland.
Гдыня.
Я заснял.
Держим путь в Чехию.
Мне не важно, чье вино, потому что я уже 2 дня в Брно.
Мы в Голландии.
Все сразу закурили. Правда, не
Мы же в Голландии.
We were actually driving ourselves that same car that we had in an accident that we had to fix.
This car was so small, tiny. It had 9 seats, and we had to remove the last row, put all the gear in the van, all the drums, cabs, amps, guitars, and we had almost no space to sit. Like we were sitting almost on each other.
Вот мы и начали свой тур. Как дрыхнет, сладко дрыхнет.
Такое ощущение, как будто ангел.
В машине, блядь, так мечтаешь об этом.
Едешь там 600 километров или там 700 в бусике, как бы едешь, потом надо это все выгружать, как бы потом это все как-то настроить. Хотя иногда бывали такие клубы, где ты заходишь, а там нечего настраивать, как бы, в принципе, потому что там 2 монитора просто, и микрофон, вот пульт, вот сюда, вот, все вот, нормально, что. У нас 3 канала, чуть не хватает, как бы поэтому все хорошо.
It was tricky because when you are not experienced on touring, you face so many difficulties that you can't predict.
We had our very first serious fight between the boys and between the musicians. We had so many things we didn't agree on. Everybody had their own vision of how the things were supposed to be done and how much you were supposed to party after the show or before the show, or how are you supposed to behave on the stage. You know, it was all chaotic, not organized enough. But that's how you learn. You learn by making mistakes, so that's what we did. However, that first tour was iconic.
Это была такая, по-своему, проверка на прочность каждого, потому что отношения, может, где-то чуть испортились из-за того, что там начались какие-то стычки, там какая-то фишка, но я думаю, что это у всех это происходит, и это нормально.
Выжимаем майки!
Вот что значит настоящее шоу.
Нихуя не видно, но слышно.
We had very good shows, and some of the shows weren't that good.
Кушать нечего иногда, спишь где-то в подвале или на сцене, или на бильярдном столе, я не знаю, или где угодно вообще. Но все равно это было очень супер весело.
Вот здесь мы сегодня играли. Микросцена. Мы тут спим, бухаем, празднуем день рождения и играем в бильярд.
День рождения!
Тарарарам! Родник детства! Тарарарам!
Никуда от него не деться.
I have to mention that there were so many places where we had to sleep in the club with no shower, absolutely wet and dirty after the show. Almost, I think, every third club.
Здесь вот мы спим. Где ты собираешься спать? Болит спина. Дать тебе подушку. I gotta sleep.
Besides just playing guitar, imagine that you have to know at least few other languages, at least English, to communicate with the people around Europe. You have to be able to drive. You have to be strong enough to sleep 4 or 5 hours a day, to carry all the gear, to know all the equipment, how it works, oh my God, there are so many things to do.
Что вы делаете, господа?
Женя сломал мне камень.
Женя сломал камень? Женя, как ты посмел? Вот зачем? Сломал, пусть делает.
какая у нее ровная.
Она и так, Сережа, у тебя не такая явная.
Зря ты говоришь. Поднять надо хуя, ты рубаешься.
Ничего не изменилось. Я думаю, ну уже доиграла. Я бы...
теперь
И потом просто нажал на плей.
Ты что на это скажешь?
Короче, значит в этом проблема. Но у меня не переключались. А у тебя вообще в этом проблема.
Я не знаю. Я не знаю. Надо переиграть ее, значит.
Нет, бля, я не смогу.
А что вы нас не слышите? Я просто переиграли.
Poland, Krakow, same tour. Another very good promotion. Another very good organizer and show promoter.
Это все Краков. Вот краковские здания. Это краковский Вадим, краковский Женя. Это краковская земля, польская. Это терминатор Аркадий с больной спиной. Робокоп, да.
We arrived to the location. I believe for a while it wasn't even open at the time when we agreed. And finally, some people opened the bar. It was like an underground rock bar, very small venue. And they appeared to be only the people that work there. Staff, bartenders, waitress. That's it. They're like, oh, I don't know. I guess you guys can start, plug stuff in. I don't know, do your sound check or something. The person in charge of the show is gonna come later. This person never showed up.
We had to figure out how to sell tickets on the door, and that was super weird for us.
Arkady was supposed to sell tickets to that show, but it was not more than 20 people, I guess. It wasn't so hard to sell tickets.
We didn't even have the little few things that we agreed upon, like accommodations after the show, for example.
And we asked where's the accommodation, and the bartender, he was in contact on the phone with the promoter, and he said, yeah, follow me, I will show you the room. And we went upstairs. He opened the bar, which was closed, and we came into this bar.
We came and there is a pool table, and they said, you can sleep right here. Just a couple of chairs and a pool table. All right, where? On the pool? He said, yeah.
And it was freezing cold, and we were like, are you fucking kidding? We can't. It's not possible to sleep here.
I remember being shocked how simple people think touring is supposed to be, I guess, or how easy touring is supposed to be, just so it's not a big deal to sleep on a pool table. You know, after being on stage for a while, after being on the road for a while, I gotta say we got so lucky. This specific couple that was at the show, they offered us to come to their place.
It was a very nice place in Krakow, and we had so much fun in their apartment, and the evening was saved by these wonderful people.
They were so friendly and so insanely caring. They helped us out so much. I remember even our crew guy, Arkady, which is still our crew guy, by the way, he pulled some muscle in his back on that tour. And this couple, they even gave him a shot for like muscle relaxer, just like a painkiller or something. They helped us out so much.
Ничего не больно. Ты такой большой мальчик, молодец.
If you guys are watching this movie, thank you so much for helping us out in that specific situation. I gotta say, yes, we did have unfortunate little situations or big situations. We had little tragedies, we had shitty people, but we mainly had luck. And we mainly had amazing people helping us out, offering their own small apartment or their own little bit of food that they had to just reassure that we are doing great and we are doing okay on the road. And we still have people like that help so much the band. And that is priceless.
Arkady, дружочек. We were born in the same day, 12th of August, and since high school we always been best friends.
Обожаю свою работу.
They met each other in 10th grade in school, and Arkady was always into music, as we were, but he never played any instruments.
I wanted to make my personal band, and I wanted him to play drums, and for some reasons, I don't know why, it never happened.
He was kind of always forcing him to do that.
He always supported me and band, and we just came to the moment when we needed people who can help us.
And I think Arkady was the best option because he was absolutely reliable.
Нравится? Мозаика.
Нравится.
Главное, чтобы тебе нравился, Аркадий. Мне нравится.
Мы же все это для тебя и устроили.
Ну, спасибо, хорошо. Положите на комод.
Мы наконец-то приехали. Аркадий впервые у нас с нами.
Первый город. Орадя, Румыния. Аркадий здесь.
During our tour with Lacuna Coil and Eluveitie, all people who were part of this tour, they were wondering, where did you find this guy? Arkady can do everything.
Барабаны разложил. Как будто барабанный техник, а не мерчендайзер.
Работник года.
He's drum tech, he's guitar tech, he helps sound engineer, he sells merch. Usually for this job you need 4 persons, and we've got only one Arkady.
Работаем, парнишки!
Смотри какой. Мне нравится такой подход делать.
Аркадий, наш техник, который с самого начала с нами как бы почти, и который тоже очень часто нас выручал, точнее всегда. Все намного стало проще, когда появились как бы свои люди в турах.
Не стесняйтесь, пацаны. Бэтмен, Вадим Бэтмен. Аркадий, а почему ты не Бэтмен?
Потому что я другой Бэтмен.
Ты Супермен. Arkady was always on the same page with us. He was ready to go anywhere on tour. He was able to do anything, and he was always dreaming, as we were, of touring, maybe having fun on the road, traveling. What else you can dream of, even if you are not a musician?
Need coffee.
Who is that guy in the band? Homeless or what?
Посмотри на себя, просто посмотри.
Заработали и можем себе позволить человека, который будет постоянно вот так вот вытирать.
Посмотри, как на автостраде.
Ай, как приятно. Ай, как хорошо.
I would say this guy works on beer. Beer is his fuel, for sure.
Мы договорились, что если Аркадий подключает свет с первого раза и он работает, то за каждый концерт он получает бутылочку пива.
Пожалуйста, Аркаш, это твое заслуженное.
Это слова на ветер не кидает.
Birra italiana, ma mi piace.
I think he was that small part which keeps us together somehow. He helps everybody. I think he is an indispensable person.
Понимаешь, меня использовали, а я-то думала, меня любят.
Я верный всем своим женщинам. Всем на планете женщинам верный я.
We have an interesting story which happened in Austria, in Vienna. It was a Halloween night.
How are you doing, beautiful zombies?
Nothing changed. It's just a normal day, right? Nothing changed. For him, it's just a normal day. For them, it's just a normal day. Одним словом.
After the gig, we parked our car just on the road, not far from the hotel, and went to sleep.
Это я понимаю, настоящий повар.
Я тоже с пивом, я без пива тоже ничего не делаю.
Да, я тоже с пивом, но не готовлю.
Без пива не готовишь?
Без пива готовлю.
Давай, танцуй тоже. I have a tiger.
And the next day it was my turn to drive. So I got up pretty early. It was like 7 or 8 in the morning. And I just went there alone to bring the car closer to the hotel so everybody could get into the car. I didn't notice anything. I opened the door, I get into the car, and I see that there is no small window in the door because there is one big and one smaller in our van. And I was like, how it's even possible? And where's the window? And I see it's on the passenger seat in the car. And I look back and there is such a mess.
Somebody broke into the car during the night. He coming back and says, guys, we got no window and our car is open. We were shocked.
It looked like they had a party in our car because they obviously drank alcohol, that we had a few bottles, and they ate our food, and it looked like they spent quite a lot of time in the car.
Давай посмотрим, что в нашем баре тут. Что есть? Что у нас тут?
They stole nothing important, just clothes, sunglasses, personal stuff, alcohol, food, and left mess in the car.
Lena had some stuff that was quite expensive and she lost it. I had a new jacket that I was wearing just for a few times in my life. A lot of fruit that I prepared from home, I dehydrated it for the whole tour, and yeah, I spent many hours doing this and then I lost everything. We were happy that they didn't touch the most expensive stuff and most precious for us. It's our equipment.
So we've got lucky that we could continue the tour and didn't stop it just in the middle. Because those guys could stop it very easy.
Fucking Vienna.
But it looked like actually they opened the box with our merchandise, but they didn't take anything. They didn't like our t-shirts. I like our t-shirts. They really liked our booze, and now they are healthy drunk.
And in sunglasses.
In sunglasses, yeah.
Мы направляемся в Зальцбург, австрийский город пресловутый.
I remember we had a show in Salzburg in Austria, and the promoter wasn't good enough to promote at least a little bit the show.
Seriously, the only people that were at that show were the bands and one paying person.
One person that bought our ticket, and he came from Vienna to Salzburg. And we played in front of him and support bands, which also super weird that they didn't bring any friends to the show.
That was interesting feeling. Should we play? Should we not play? Should we be on stage or maybe in the crowd? Should we play the whole set or just a couple of songs? Should we play at all? We didn't know what to do. We decided, you know what? Fuck it. We will do the same show for this one guy.
Я думаю, что это был самый классный концерт для него, наверное, потому что он был единственным в зале. И играли, по сути, как бы для него.
I really hope he's gonna watch this movie. The same guy still comes to our shows when we play in Austria. It's amazing. I remember how he looks like, I remember the way he speaks, everything. He is incredible. So, that first guy, and the one and only, apparently was impressed enough of the show to continue listening to the band and supporting the band. And that is worth so much. That should be the reason of all the band's existence. Even if you do it for one person, do it from the heart. That's what we did.
Я помню, что мы провели очень классно там время, потому что там был как бы такой хозяин, в принципе, очень такой интересный человек. И мы провели там пару дней, и я помню, что было очень классно.
Значит, играем в карты. Как? Готовим жрать.
Кто чем занимается?
Вот так и живем.
У нас Даёв первый. И вот тут вот спим. Весь день проводим.
For me personally, when I go see the band live, any band, I find it very boring to watch the band who just stands and do nothing on the stage, just play the instrument, the maximum accuracy, you know. Even if I hear some wrong notes, but I see the person jumping around and going crazy on the stage, I find this experience much more interesting. That's why I prefer to go crazy on the stage. I really like it. I like to climb on some different stuff, jump from it.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Thank you, that was beautiful.
Вот, блин, пожалуйста. Да ну нахуй! Женин пот мне прямо на руку потек.
Все ходят такие голые, я один одетый вот в такую вот рубашечку. Сейчас я вам покажу, смотрите, она как будто бы у меня кожаная.
I remember the day when I stopped doing stage diving. I used to do it a lot, actually. But we had this one show in Romania, in Sibiu, and on the last song, people were like waving me to jump from the stage. I wouldn't say it was too crowded in the venue, but I was thinking there are enough people who can carry me. And one guy, he slept or something, and he fell, and he grabbed the other guy, and the other guy fell down. I understood that I'm falling down with all of them, and just to save the guitar, I just took it on the other side and I hit the floor with my face. And I stand up, I get back to the stage, and I see blood leaking from my nose, and I just dropped the guitar and left the stage. In the toilet, I'm washing my face, seeing my nose like that, broken, and I hear Lena started to talk to people and said, "Let's call Sergey back to the stage," and everybody started to scream, "Seryoja, Seryoja," and this is Russian way to pronounce my name. I come back to the stage and I understood that there is no way I can go on. That's how we finished. Thanks God, it was almost last song, and this was pretty crazy. I think after that I stopped doing stage diving. Who knows, maybe I will come back to this again.
Помнишь этот клуб? Помнишь? Вот это место, где я упал сюда. Самое место. Вот это, наверное, пятно моей крови с тех пор осталось. Вот это, видишь? Вот этот нос я тогда сломал.
Из Казани ехали в Краснодар. Где-то на полпути нас тормозят гаишники. И какой-то мужик подходит такой серьезный, типа, давайте документы, у кого там водитель, не знаю что. И я смотрю, что там рядом подходит другой гаишник. Валера, что там? Какие? Что? Кто они там? Да, не знаю, вот какие-то вот. И он, мужик подходит к нам, говорит, ребята, а вы что? Музыканты? А что за группа? Мы, ну, Infected Rain. Серьезно, Infected Rain? Да не может быть вообще такого. Как это вообще? Типа, Валера, иди сюда, типа, давай фоткай нас.
Мне нравится эта группа. Да. Ну да. Страшная, да. Как я вот люблю. Ну давай. Честно. Ага, так. Идет нормально, получается? На счет 3. Раз, два, три.
То есть это было очень такое приятное удивление вообще, что какой-то мужик в возрасте, который работает в ГАИ, то есть он слушает такую музыку, видимо, не знаю, может быть, и это было очень приятно. Что мы как-то сфотографировались, и понятно, что как бы отпустили, и, типа, езжайте, удачи, ребята, все нормально.
Speaking about car accidents, we had one more, but it was later, 2 years later, I guess.
We were going to the festival, to Romania, Rockstadt festival, and it was my and Arkady's birthday.
Было очень хорошее настроение, все было классно, как бы едем, и как бы какой-то дождик начался. И как бы я помню, что там перед Брашовым, по-моему, там километров 50-70 плюс-минус там оставалось.
It was one-way road, each way, the opposite direction. And one guy on the truck behind us, he was always coming closer and closer and closer, like he was rushing somewhere.
It was a huge traffic jam on this way to the city. I remember I was driving and almost everybody was sleeping in the car. It was the same van that from the first accident. So in front of us, one car was overtaking another and he just couldn't make it. And the car in front of me had to stop to make him space to finish his overtaking. I had to brake, and behind of us it was a huge truck that couldn't stop that fast. So it was a very strong hit in the back, and our car moved forward a lot, and this truck still couldn't stop, and he hit us again.
I remember I was sitting in front, and one moment I just feel the hit from the back. Bam! And we just stopping in a moment, and then again, bam! Second time. I was thinking, fuck no, again? Seriously?
Fuck no, again, really.
Это мне как будто бы снилось, как будто бы там не знаю, что-то взорвалось, что-то там, не знаю, вот как-то вот так было. То есть реально очень страшно. То есть проснулся от того, что непонятно, что происходит, там кто-то кричит, кто-то что-то по сторонам посмотрел и думаю, так, все целы, все хорошо.
Ты видел с той стороны? Да.
Что с той стороны?
С той стороны, бля,
They wrecked the back of the car. Thanks God, no instruments got broken. The only thing we found the cymbals somewhere 20 meters away in the grass.
Я понял, что в какой-то момент даже подошел какой-то чувак и дал нам эту накидку, которая типа отсвечивает. Типа, ребята, давайте что-то делайте, типа, регулируйте движение, не знаю, потому что, типа, смотрите, там уже там, 50 километров пробка. Мы пытались как-то регулировать движение, но понятно, что ты в шоке, что происходит, там еще дождь идет, как бы. Ты пытаешься кого-то пропустить, кого-то не пропустить, и там, ты проходи, ты не проходи, ты стой, ты, я не знаю. То есть это было очень...
It was, again, very scary situation and super unpleasant. Also, we had to deal with police and explaining in a different country, and we had to deal with the insurance company as well. Everything is so tricky when you have these situations.
Well, we had the festival the next day, so thanks God we had time to deal with the accident, but the car still was able to drive.
Somehow we got to the hotel. We just parked our car the way that the back window is on the wall, so nobody could enter the car during the night.
Yeah, the only thing we could do is just celebrate the birthday.
С днем рождения вас! С днем рождения нас! Неважно, что сегодня произошло, жизнь все равно продолжается. Я вам желаю, чтобы в жизни было меньше таких приключений.
The next day we was closing the back window with the tape because it was just a hole in the car.
По-моему, весь город слушает, как открывается этот багажник.
The next day we played festival. I remember coming to this festival, people were looking at us, what? Seriously? What the fuck has happened to your car, guys?
But the show was very nice. There is this show on YouTube.
Если честно, до сих пор я часто еду куда-то в автобусе, либо еще где-то сплю, и если кто-то тормозит очень резко, то как-то я всегда пугаюсь, потому что как-то, не знаю, вот осталось вот это вот.
After the second car accident, we had a tour booked, I think in few weeks after. We couldn't fix the car by the time, and we really needed to do something. Rent the car, I don't know, or buy newer, but obviously we needed bigger car. So we just decided, all right, we just grabbed all our money that we had, borrowed some more, and we decided just to get bigger car, the Volkswagen Crafter, and it really changed the touring.
Женя, здравствуй.
Здравствуй, Сережка.
Ты едешь в тур?
Я вот, да.
В очередной? Какой уже в твоей жизни этот тур?
Поехать в тур. Я пришел поехать в тур.
Пришел, чтобы поехать?
Somehow we were forced to buy the new vehicle. You know, there is no evil without good. Now you have a space to stand up, you have a space for gear, you have a sleeping area where you can just rest.
Что ты снимаешь?
Снимаю
Снимаешь, как я лажаю?
Певицу. Скажи, я хочу быть рок-звездой.
Little girl with no soul, always smiling, perfectly shiny. Да, там проебал клетчик.
Ну, один, можно.
We started recording our second album, Embrace Eternity, and it was a whole new chapter for us. Of course, every album is the new chapter, but this one was different because Lena had some lessons and she improved her vocals a lot.
In the first and the second album, in the period between these two albums, I discovered new, innovative vocal teacher that was specifically working with alternative vocalists in alternative music. And I'm talking about Melissa Cross. Luna, come here. Sit down. Stay. Говори что-то интересное, как будто бы... Ну, я не знаю, там что-то, я не знаю. It was very funny to study what there was available online at the time and then buy her DVDs and just listen to other musicians, try to explain the right feeling of vocals and the right feeling of the right type of vocals specifically. But not until 2013 when I actually met Melissa Cross in person and had an actual first lesson that things started to make more sense for me.
No one will hurt you again. Now you are on the same distant line. No one will hurt you again. Now you are on the same distant line.
wasn't ever experienced in music. I was never taught the proper way. It helped a lot to have basic vocal lessons in the beginning of the career of Infected Rain, just so I have an idea of how to breathe, how to use the whole machine when singing. And it helped incredibly. But again, not until I started studying vocals, my own body, my own emotions with Melissa Cross.
Now her vocals sounded very different from the first album. It showed our band from another perspective. Yeah, we were really happy to record this album. We really love this album.
And I think with the second album, the Infected Rain style became more established because of the way I sing, because I started adding so many new things to my vocals.
I know there are not enough rocks to throw into the emptiness through the dust. I know there is not enough time to hide the bitter truth of my empty life.
Нет, невозможно все вместе. Я понимаю, давайте кусками.
We recorded in the same studio as Asylum and with the same producer, Voluca Valentin.
I really don't want to work with anybody else but him, because I see, just like every one of us, he becomes more and more professional every year. And I guess you can judge by the music. I see the growth from album to album, and it would be weird if we were going down, yeah.
Same person that knows us for years was working on this each single song, and however, every single album is so different, which is absolutely great. We work all together on the albums when it comes to sounding, and each specific thing and each specific detail really matters. And we agree on it together, and we work on it together.
Очень круто было, потому что это было вот ощущение реально вот того, что ты пишешь альбом полноценный в студии, то есть все там происходит, потому что как сейчас все пишут по домам, а тогда вот пришел на студию, записал, ты сидишь, слушаешь, спишь, кушаешь, какаешь, я не знаю, там все что угодно.
Тёма, Яковутин, а у меня плакута дома, молодился капоту. Особенно муки варять, вот
так вот надо бегать, знаешь, чтобы это... А Вадимчику на его маленьком грифчике что там? Вот.
Наш басист лучший. Наш басист.
Пару слов перед записью.
Ну, опять же, не скажу.
Давай, пошел.
И, кстати, был очень смешной или не смешной случай, что я записал барабаны в первый день. Ну, типа, я монстр, я за один день пишу барабан на альбом, как бы.
Да ты задрот, походу, Женя. А? Ты, походу, задрот.
Да. И записал в первый день. Это потому, что денег не было, просто понятно. Я помню, мы пришли на следующий день, и там что-то было с конвертерами непонятно, не в порядке. Мы должны были записать на второй день, по-моему, еще одну или две песни. И мы записали и поняли, что эти две звучат лучше, чем все, что я записал в первый. И решили записать все заново, как бы. Переписали, на следующий день переписали все еще раз.
Все хуйня, Миша, никто тебе так денег не даст. Давай заново.
Ебашить ты умеешь, это ты могешь.
Я в шоке, да.
Что?
Клево. Ты что, не слышишь? Смотри, какой звук барабана.
На мой взгляд, я думаю, что первый раз, когда я записал, это было, наверное, чуть-чуть, может быть, лучше. И как это было такое более, ну, типа как первый раз. То есть ты пишешь, как бы как-то, но, опять же, не факт, не знаю. У меня такое ощущение.
Да.
Давай, ебаш! Молодец, Жень. After we released Embrace Eternity in 2014,
I remember I was thinking, all right, so now we will become like a huge stars. Like this is the best thing we can offer now. This is super cool album. I enjoyed it a lot and I thought now everything will change. And to be honest, everything changed, but it was changing step by step. It wasn't like you wake up in the morning and you are a huge rock star. No, we never came to this point. We were going step by step, just growing and growing and growing, and still have so many things to do.
Enslaved by a Dream.
Right after 2014, a big change happened in Infected Rain's life, and specifically in the way we were doing things. Mainly because of me, because I decided to move to a new country. My whole family moved from Moldova years ago, and I almost had no more relatives here, only the band. And in 2015, I did the move. I moved to America. I had some job offers there, I had friends there, and I just wanted to try something new in my personal life and in general in my life. It wasn't the first time that I moved from to a new country, so although it was pretty scary and challenging, but it was something I wanted to do for myself. But the biggest challenge right here was not to jeopardize the band's plans, and in any possible way to preserve what we had. In fact, we didn't even make it public for a while, and the few people that knew were just the closest friends. And then when it was obvious that I moved to a new country, oh my God, the shit we got from fans and close friends even. People, like even friends, they started commenting stupid shit like, oh, let's see how now the Infected Rain is gonna survive. Say goodbye to Infected Rain's career. Some stuff like that, you know? It was so heavy to stand still, and face all these people and prove them that they are wrong, that we can do it. This is nothing. Nothing changed.
We as a band had to learn how to work remotely, and we had to understand that now we live in different countries and we need to find other ways to record the albums, film music videos, go on tour and stuff like that.
I was flying to Moldova every time we had to tour. I was flying to Moldova every time we had to record physically and or film anything. I still do. To all of you that didn't believe in us at the time and that thought that was it, the end of the band's career. Don't do that to anybody, because you can break people. People need you to believe in them. And this is for tomorrow.
For tomorrow?
No, for the day after tomorrow. For the show, come on. Нашла. Вот она. I found it. Look, and when I move, they always will move. It's really cool, I'm telling you.
В то время, в принципе, было тяжело с деньгами, я думаю, у всех. Так совпало, что я попал к нашему музыканту, как бы Дан Балан был такой, как бы человек, ну как бы есть, понятно. Там были запланированы как бы какие-то туры очень типа серьезные, и у нас тоже были запланированы. Было тяжело выбрать, но я почему-то выбрал с Даном Баланом типа поехать в тур, типа заработать денег каких-то. И ребята поехали без меня.
Oui.
Утро.
Во Франции.
В итоге с Даном Баланом не было ни одного концерта, то, что меня тоже порадовало. Ну, может быть, это так и должно было быть, я не знаю. В итоге я сидел дома, ребята были в туре, поэтому, я не знаю, для кого было лучше или хуже, короче.
Molto bello.
Bello.
Bello. Все вот меня.
Все были, и я была.
First time when we came to Bulgaria,
Родина Петровича. Родина Петрович.
we had a show in a small venue.
We met this crazy, cool, super nice guy, Simon. Невероятно, страхотно, супер добре.
Это я.
Это змея, это красиво, страхотно, невероятно, супер добре.
Семёнчий друг. We call him Семёнчий друг.
Simon. Nice to meet you.
Let me sleep. Don't bother me.
Nice to meet you или нет?
Nice to meet you.
He was, this small Bulgarian guy who was forcing everybody to do his job properly. He was like, you, now play you, now you do that, you do this.
Давай, делаем пиздец. Kick, please. Nice job. I'm a professional, don't worry.
And we really liked the way he works. We thought it's very professional, but because we were traveling without our own sound engineer.
After the gig, we were talking with Semyon, and he said that we are so lucky, we travel a lot, we live our lives, and he would jump in the car in exactly in that moment and would join us.
Давай, друзья, поехали на тур?
Да. Короче, у меня все концерты важны, пиздец важны. Все день я делаем концерт, у меня важно тоже хорошо.
He offered, guys, I would like to go with you on tour. If you need a sound engineer, I can go for free with you just to invest in the band. I really believe in the band and I see the big future. This was the best option you can ever imagine of. The guy, super professional, who loves his job. He loves music, he loves touring, offers to help you, just to travel with you and be part of the band.
Since then, we are touring together, and it's really, really cool.
Sweaty, tired, but still sexy. I think it's all because we have such a sexy sound engineer.
Yeah. They all come to see me. What the fuck? Why?
You are too sexy.
Hey, sexy Simon.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Throw some money. Yeah. I finally found.
We were looking for sound engineer, but it's hard to find someone like Arkady who can join you on tour basically for free because we didn't make no money at all. So thanks God we have these two guys. I love them so much and I really don't want to keep doing what we're doing without them. I think they are part of the band just like everybody of us.
Дружочек, давай, скажи меня.
Что сказал тебе?
Мой никнейм.
Чек.
Simon was this kind of person who you can rely on.
This guy changed our lives a lot. He appeared in Infected Rain exactly in a moment we needed him.
Саймону самые тяжелые кейсы надо оставить. Сами вдвоем с Аркадием.
Он любит, а ты ему любишь помогать всегда.
И да, я ему помогал. Давай делаем сам. Can you try harder?
Turn right. Okay, go on.
Thank you. Is that alright?
Is that
I'm sorry for disturbing your...
Yeah, please. And faster.
Приходится работать со звукарями, которые они даже не понимают, там, что происходит на сцене. Есть такие. В основном такие. Thank you for a snare sound, man.
Oh, okay.
Take.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the sound.
Sometimes Valentin replaces Simon if Simon just can't come to some of our shows because unfortunately he lives in Bulgaria and we here in Moldova, and Leana lives in US, and sometimes it makes things complicated, but it's all right, we can deal with that.
Сука, блин, чуть ниже, чем разъезда.
Так наплюй туда.
Прогон.
Женя, у тебя своя сцена отдельная, ничего себе! Ты чувствуешь себя VIP-барабанщик? Женя will have his own stage. VIP drummer. Look at that. Flowers are molder and bloom. Your guts and your brain beautify. You're wasting your time. Что, как на работе?
Охуительно, наконец-то. Наконец-то, да, то же самое.
You're wasting your time. Hating your own kind. Losing your mind.
We are doing some preparations for tomorrow, and yeah, we just think where to place our tuners. In 2016, we started recording our third album. This album is very different from the previous works as well because we switched to 7-string guitars.
Different sound, like seriously. More us, more Infected Rain, more closer to like what we were going for, I guess.
This is the place where the artwork cover for our third album, 86, was created, right in this place, this spot. So you can see the Infected Rain logo right over there on that wall, small square. And at that time, this place looked absolutely different, actually.
Yeah, in fact, this place was under construction when we were doing this.
So chair was here, I think, and Wonka was laying on it, and Sergey was holding her like that.
For almost half an hour to find the perfect picture. And that's it. It was pretty quick and simple, but I still like this cover.
But then it was edited and by Ira Selendripity.
The chair was removed from that artwork, and here we go. The alien hovering over the stairs.
These stairs are located near artificial lake. It's quite a big lake, and for example, me personally, I
right
come here every day and do 2 rounds around the lake, and I really like this place. I spent a lot of time here. This lake was created during Soviet times, and in 90s it was quite abandoned and looked terrible, and luckily our government took care of it, and now it looks actually super nice, and it looks like a decent park area where you can spend nice time, and many people are coming here every evening.
I think this is the best place probably to walk around and to visit. I mean, basically in Chisinau, in the capital, because it looks really nice.
band photo shoot for 86 was made also here, in this place. So accidentally this place became very special for us and part of our history.
With this album we started touring even more. We were touring twice a year or 3 times a year.
We played such big festivals. We were seen by bigger labels. We started getting offerings from labels. We started getting offerings from managers. It was interesting to get all this attention. Everything was just next level. However, we couldn't feel comfortable finally with somebody, and we couldn't really choose somebody to work with at the time still. It felt like everybody who wanted to take us at the time and wanted to work with us at the time somehow, in a little or big way, wanted to change the band. We even heard an opinion that we have to change the band's name after 3 albums. Come on, seriously? We couldn't believe somebody will even suggest that. Because this is what we are. This is what we believe in, and we've been doing this for 3 albums. Or like a big change in the band's sound or the way the band looks like. We were criticized for how we look like. We were not metal enough. No, I was not metal enough. I don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means, really. And who invents this specific definitions of being something or someone. So we just stuck on being independent for a little bit longer.
And there is one more thing maybe worth to mention, that all the income from the band until 2017 was invested back to the band, but we never shared any money from the band's income between us. In 2017 we finally could share some money after our spring tour.
We are in Timișoara, Romania, and here's everybody. Everybody say hi!
Это был последний концерт в туре. Я помню, что мы разделили по 500 евро на каждого. И это было супер приятно и супер как-то необычно даже, потому что всегда приходилось как бы вкладывать деньги назад в группу, и как бы всегда надо было что-то покупать, всегда куча затрат. А тут, оказывается, типа, можно заработать еще.
Almost 10 years. Can you imagine? So 9 years we've been doing what we do for free, actually for free.
We had income before, don't get me wrong, but all the income we had before we had to automatically invest again and again and again and again and again. In the beginning, investing even more than we were having. From the shows, from the merchandise.
We needed new guitars, we needed equipment, drums, cymbals, all the stuff. I don't talk about music videos, recording, and so on, so on, so on. It's endless stairs.
Everybody wants to be a rock star, but they don't think how much effort you have to put in the beginning, how much money you have to spend. If you think you can just make one tour and then you start a huge rock star, usually it doesn't work this way. You keep investing and playing as much as possible, and maybe one day it will bring some benefits.
We were so happy, like finally, first money. Yeah, it's crazy if you think that it's quite a long way until you finally can have something to share in the band and to
have money from the job that you actually do and love to do, and you dedicate your life to it.
When I came back to Moldova, to Chisinau, I was so happy because my favorite activity brought me first money.
And I gotta say, our crew member Arkady as well, for a few interesting years with interesting tours, he did it only for food. Thank you for sticking around, obviously. Thank you for still being with us after all these years. If any starting musicians or starting bands is watching right now, you should know that it's different for everybody. Obviously, it all depends what country you start in, how old are you, what genre you start in, how lucky you got with certain shows and certain people that would notice you. But be prepared and be ready, and don't get discouraged if you don't get paid right away. Don't get discouraged if you don't have too many people at your shows right away. Don't get discouraged if you don't have people believing in you. Just, if you love it and if it comes from the heart, just continue doing it, because life is too short and you have to follow your dream, if that is really your dream.
Sound check in progress.
Ты куда положил ради
Тоже без одного отделения.
Пешком.
Аркадий, оставь это в мои уши, пожалуйста, да.
Всегда такой писать. Всегда.
Я всегда не могу понять ее вообще-то.
Выйди на свет. Вот так. Хорошо. Ты тут на расслабоне, да?
What? You want a show? Me too.
Make some goddamn noise out here, you're gonna be on our video! Volete ancora Milano?
We played many tours, many festivals, many shows, and at some point we decided to record our fourth album. At that time we already had some offers from different labels, but we denied them for different reasons.
We decided that we better don't sign at all than just sign to some small label, and it will make no difference for us. Probably it would, but we thought it wouldn't.
However, I gotta say that there was one specific person from one specific label that was very insistent and continuously was checking up on us and even giving us some offers. And I'm talking about Napalm Records. Napalm Records was one of the first labels that noticed Infected Rain, even way before '86 actually. I think we got the first email.
We just got offer from Napalm and we thought not yet, and we will wait a little more. And then again.
With a break of a time between emails and between conversations, they would like check on us and just like make sure that we know that they are interested still, and they were telling us what they could do and with the band and where they could promote us and how this would affect the band's impact on people.
One day we decided, all right, we think that from now on we came to the point when we just cannot manage all the things by ourselves, and we really need help to promote, to manage stuff, and just to grow bigger. And we decided to sign the contract with label, and I think it was a really good idea because it was a proper time.
And we had to decide if we want to sign with the label with the new album, or we can still release this album as an independent band.
So the decision to sign with the label had to be made very fast because we were about to release and the very first single from the upcoming album. And I'm talking about Passerby. It was February of 2019, and we seriously had all the promotion and all the material for this specific music video ready.
People knew that it's gonna be released on 14th of February, and it was already uploaded to our YouTube channel, and we had only to publish the song the next day. And we've got another contract on the February 13th.
The question was either we sign right now, seriously, in the matter of a night, and release it on Napalm channels, through Napalm promotion, and just go for it, or we will probably have to wait longer with, different album even, probably.
Yeah, we did it, and in the morning we already sent all the materials to the label.
And on February 14th, Valentine's Day, we announced our signing with the label, together with the releasing of the very first single of the album, Endorphin, which is the first album that came out under the label after 10 years of being independent.
I think when you are on the label, people see you from the other side. They treat you more serious. I wouldn't say that my life changed a lot since then, but it became a little easier.
Napalm Records won out of 3 labels that we were considering at the time. We chose Napalm Records because they really loved us the way we are, and they never wanted to change us. They never wanted to introduce anything. They never wanted us to be somebody else. They just wanted to promote what we are and distribute what we are the way we are.
We were so happy about this. We had a huge tour booked with Lacuna Coil and Helvetii.
This tour is very special because we are supporting our good friends from Helvetii and Lacuna Coil.
Please make some real fucking noise for the mighty
It was the biggest tour in our career, 2 months in Europe, 43 shows, which is really huge tour. I mean, for me personally.
Let's go melt some faces.
We were playing in front of a little bit of a different crowd because we were supporting bands with very big history and with slightly different type of fans, which was very interesting for us and awesome, honestly. We learned a lot from that tour.
I'm glad everybody's happy.
Infected Rain.
And Lacuna Coil.
В 2019 году, когда мы поехали в первый наш тур на Nightliner с нашим первым турагентством Massive Music, я помню, что мы поехали первый раз с техниками. Первые пару дней я сам ходил, собирал барабаны, как-то было вот смешно, что мы привыкли все сами делать постоянно.
This is our amazing drum technician for this tour. Thank you so much for joining us.
Stage manager, the guy that tells us what to do.
Но потом в половине тура мне прямо это очень сильно понравилось. Перестал как-то париться за барабаны, потому что всегда было все собрано уже на саундчеке. Можно было отдохнуть больше и там заняться собой как-то, чего в туре, наверное, часто не хватает всем.
The grass was greener, beer. The beer was colder.
summer of 2019 was very beautiful, with a lot of big festivals, a lot of very good spots at those big festivals, and huge promotion around us being signed, around our new album that is gonna come out soon. Everything was just so great. The whole year was absolutely amazing. The other side of the coin was not as beautiful. Just unexpected, life-changing situation in my personal life happened in the summer of 2019, in the middle of our summer tour.
Hello guys, we have day off. Hi everybody.
So I was debating into, should I continue the tour with the band or, just solve my personal life problems, because those are also important. Fortunately, I was able to fly back to America for a couple of days to understand what's going on and try to figure out my life for a couple of days, because we had some days off between the festivals, and that helped a lot, because just being home and trying to just roll your sleeves and really fast deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with was better than nothing, better than being on the other side of the planet and let other people control your life and other people make decisions for you. I didn't have a back ticket because I didn't know how many days I would need, but I only stayed there for 3 days and came back, put my shit together as much as I could, and with the help of the band, with the help of my family, and with the help of all the help and all the support of the fans, I was able to go through that tour. Even though I was losing weight, I was losing my mind, I was losing my life, but I wasn't losing Infected Rain. It's been 2 years and it's still very emotional. Certain things in life just take priorities, and for me, I was very lucky to have that tour and to be in the middle of that tour actually, and have the shows and the bandmates to keep an eye on me and take care of me and make sure that I just function enough to have the shows. They were my rock and they were helping a lot. If I needed a drink, they were there for me to have that drink. If I needed to have a walk, they were there with me to have that walk. Because probably if I had to go through this alone, it would have probably ended up tragically. But it didn't. When I came back after that tour to deal with my life situation and continue certain things back to normal or some sort of normal, I was stronger because I had so many people believing in me and helping me financially, morally, emotionally. And I was just writing a lot with my band, writing. Music definitely plays a big role in my life. It is my therapy. I would probably be a crazy person without the ability of expressing myself, expressing my feelings and what bothers me. The fact that I was able to write about my pain in the right moment, the fact that I was able to scream and sing about my pain in the right moment saved my life. So I'm very thankful for having the band, and I'm very thankful for choosing the band even over my personal life in a way. And now, although 2 years have passed, I understand that that change had to be done, and it's only for the best.
Так, Вадим, пожалуйста, не нервничай, сука.
Так, это нужно все.
Это
Everybody's so nervous. So nervous. I am too, but I'm just camouflage in fire.
Всегда один и тот же вопрос, нравится ли мне? Мне нравится. Я вообще, если честно, как маленькая девочка, которая писается. Которая, да, уже писается от счастья.
Дела превосходные.
Смотри, там даже Женина тень. Все будет хорошо. Хороший настрой.
2020 was supposed to be a very big year for Infected Rain. After just signing with a label, just releasing the first album under a label, we were booked for 4 different tours. So much was planned. Oh my god.
We had 2 US tours booked and 1 Latin American tour, the festivals that we were dreaming to play at.
Пандемия, скажем так, затормозила поезд, который шел вроде бы очень хорошо.
This big global depression happened in the beginning of 2020, which seriously stopped the world.
And everybody had to adapt to a new situation. We still do, and we have to learn how to live in the new world.
Here we are in 2021, underlining and or putting a big period after all these years in our career, thanks to COVID, and starting over with new power, new forces, new plans, and so much stronger.
I miss touring actually a lot, and I really want to do what we did for last decade. I don't want to rest too much. I think I've had more than enough on this 2020.
Пришлось посидеть дома, как бы подумать что-то о жизни, близкого человека узнать поближе. Потому что все равно всегда кто-то где-то, всегда там, может, тур какой-то, уезжаешь, и всегда ты увидишься не очень часто.
In the beginning of the tour, sometimes you think like, no, 1 month, oh my God, every day a show. But then in the end you think like, I could run like this forever.
During this year and a half or more, we were able to record new albums, do so many collaborations. We were able to build new studios in our houses and record from home. We were able to be closer as a band.
Since pandemic started, I understood one thing. I wasn't so tired of touring live. You need not more than 2 months to charge your batteries. And my batteries are full now.
We are ready to start our life, and I can't wait to hit the stage again.
Я, наверное, из тех людей, которые не может просто сидеть на одном месте. Просто это чуть-чуть душит, как будто бы. Мне этого очень сильно не хватает. Надеюсь, что это все это закончится уже один раз.
I believe things will get better, and we will go on tour again.
This is a new step. This is a new blank page in the career of Infected Rain. And with your help and support, with the help of support of our manager and our label and our families and our fans, we are able to move on and do more. So thank you so much for believing in us all these years. Some of you since the very first single, some of you since the first album, some of you maybe from the last album we released. It doesn't matter. Even if you discover Infected Rain thanks to this movie, welcome to our family and thank you for believing in us.
It was intense, very intense. It looks like I forgot how to deal with the stage.
Good.
Good.
Yes, good, but hard.
And hot?
Like in a good old days, right? So good, so perfect.
I crying, incredible. Especially some songs. Film this.